Hey, everybody. Good day to one and all, and welcome to another edition of Heart to Heart. Here's where we sit you down and put you on game. That's all we do. And as like others in the Jazzy Groove Rainy Day Podcast family, meaning every podcast on this channel, we operate by the power of 5. If you like what we're doing, please support the channel and at the very least, hit the like button. It goes a long way. We also want to tell you that we're in the process of streamlining the channel as well. Quite a few shows that you come to watch over the last few years are going to be consolidated till we come down to about 4 or 5 shows, which will be shown in the beginning on Tuesdays and Saturdays at 9 a.m. in the morning. So be sure to set your clock to that. Hit the subscribe button if you want to continue following us. If you want notifications of when we do go live, that's the best way to do it. So hit the button for those things. And now, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's topic. And that topic is why we do what we do. We're going to deviate a little bit. We're going to touch a little bit into the dating and stuff like that as far as it concerns to that. But the overarching theme of this entire segment is why we do what we do. And I've been asked that question, and it's a fair question. With everything that I could be doing, and as you know, I'm a man of many talents. I wear many hats, have my fingers in many pies. Why do I do this? Well, the first one, and the easiest one to give you, is the fact that I enjoy doing it. And as a result of me enjoying doing it, I tend to pour everything into it, which goes over into everything else I do that I really enjoy. I give it my all. No more, no less. I give it my all. But the other reason why I do it is the same reason why so many other content creators in this space do it. Now I'm talking about Fresh and Fit. I'm talking about Donovan Sharp. I'm talking about Modern Life Dating. I'm talking about Anton Daniels. I'm talking about Kevin Sanders, the late great Kevin Sanders. I'm talking about Pearl Davis. I'm talking about, did I leave anybody out? Melanie King, when she was doing it, I don't know if she's still doing it, but when she was doing it, I would definitely say she's one of the people. And others like them. And the reason why we all do what we do is because we're trying. Keyword there is trying. We are trying to alter the dating scape as we see it today. Because let's face it, we're cooked otherwise. I don't see a whole bunch of scenarios where we continue down the path we're going on and it coming out rosy on the other side. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen at all. And it's a shame. It's a shame because, again, it doesn't have to be this way. The only thing that stops us from having meaningful conversations with ourselves and others is us. Perception is key. And perception is subjective. That's why we have so many people having so many different opinions on what goes on. Because each person sees life through their own lens, which isn't a bad thing on its face. But I will say that on the whole, the macro, it's incomplete. Because when you look at it through your own lens, you are not looking at the entire picture. You're looking at the picture as it pertains to you. This ties into the dating aspect. That's how a lot of women look at things. They look at things to me. Personally, I feel. If you're talking to me about it, and in and of itself, again, that's not a bad thing. What gets them into trouble is when you're asking about generalities, the macro. If you're looking at the entire picture and you're asked a question about the entire picture, you never want to leave with, personally, I think. Because you lost before you even begun. You lost. It is what it is. A lot of people tend to give content creators a lot of pushback for things that they say. But a lot of people aren't thinking about the macro. They're thinking about the micro. They're thinking on a personal level through their own eyes, their own personal lens. And again, that's not a bad thing, but it's not the question asked. No one's saying that you can't see things on a personal level, because that's how you are supposed to grow. And notice I use the word supposed to. Because a lot of people say that they do, but they don't. Again, it is what it is. Is it right?
Nope.
Is it kind?
Nope.
Is it fair?
Nope.
Is it just?
Nope.
Is it what it is?
Yeah.
Again, I'm just a messenger. Take it out on the person who actually said it, not the person who gives you the messages. Let's focus on one person in particular. And we're going to ask why he does what he does. And that's Myron Gaines. Shout out to you, Myron, and the Fresh and Fit crew. We rock with you. Again, there are things that you say that we agree with. There are things you say we don't agree with. But all in all, we rock with you. Maybe one day we'll meet. Maybe we won't. But regardless of that outcome, we rock with you. We got you back. We here at the Common Sense Network stand behind Myron Gaines. And for those who ask why would you do that? Look at it this way. If you know somebody who to you is a solid person. They got things that they do that you agree with. They got things that they do you disagree with. That's the way it is with everybody. Not everybody is universally liked. Conversely, not everybody is universally disliked. You just have to hope that your likes outweigh your dislikes. That's all you can do. That's it. You have to hope and pray that at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, the positives outweigh the negatives. Because when the negatives outweigh the positives, it's time to rethink your strategy. Again, it is what it is. And that's it. But before we get too much into the weeds, dear, let's go back to Mr. Gaines. A lot of times, he's saying things, firstly, he's saying things that a lot of us think. But for whatever reason we have, whether it's good or bad or indifferent, we don't say it. Much like back in the day, and even today, I was listening to him today. Howard Stern's still the same way. What makes him controversial is the fact that he will say out loud what the majority of people think to themselves. He has no filter. Mr. Gaines is the same way. A lot of times he'll say exactly what the majority of people are thinking. They just don't want to say it. They don't want to be canceled. They don't want to be not heard. They don't want to be ignored. They don't want any of those things. But that doesn't mean they don't think about it. That doesn't mean that they don't hold that thought close to them in the dark when no one's looking. Aha! I knew it. I knew it. And every time that you say, I knew it, Myron's already there saying it. I'm going to get really raw and primal for a minute. So for those with sensitive hearing or they get easily offended, now's the time to look away. And wait a minute. Are they gone? Good. Let's get into it. Myron has a problem with niggas. I have a problem with niggas. Donovan Sharp has a problem with niggas. And there are others in this space who also have a problem with niggas, but for whatever reason, won't say it out loud. Walter Weeks, aka Fresh CEO, Prince CEO, he has a problem with niggas. Him and Donovan don't even, as they say, dabble in the dark. They don't date black girls. Now, their reasoning is theirs. I'm not even going to pretend to go into it because I'm pretty sure that I'll fudge it up somehow. So we're not even going to discuss that. The bottom line is that they don't. And Mr. Gaines doesn't either. Hell, I married a white woman, so you can say I don't. One thing I will say about all of those in question is that at some point in their lives, we all did. My whole reasoning for ending up the way that I ended up was simply this. I have a saying that I have that extends to everything around me. If you're with me through the hard times, I'm going to reward you when it gets good. Because that shows character. That shows loyalty. If you can rock with me, hand up with your full chest and say, yeah, I rock with him. If you can do that when it's raining, how can I not reward you when it's sunny? That would make me a pretty shitty person. And I may be many things. Shitty's not one of them. And I'm sure there are people out there that'll think, okay, yeah, whatever. And you are more than welcome to think that. I'm not trying to please everybody. I stopped that. That ship sailed a long time ago. One of the main reasons why my podcasts and stuff haven't blown up the way they should have is because I don't care who likes them and who doesn't. I don't care. I never have. I speak about things that are near and dear to my heart. That's why I started talking politics, because recently I've been getting into that. And I have my own reasonings and I'll say feelings about those things. And if you want to know about them, you can always check into Political Chat and see why I think the way I think. And it's all based in reality. There's no I feel like. This is the way it is. Again, at the Common Sense Network, we deal in the here and now. Right now. We don't deal in coulda, woulda, shoulda. As I like to say, if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle. But she doesn't. So what's the point? It's things like that. Really simple truisms that I like to pass on to you guys. And I like to pass them on because it gives you an insight into how I think. What motivates me? What gets me up? What makes me move? And although the greatest reasoning are my wife and children, I'm also doing what I do because I care about you guys. And that's what everyone here, to one certain degrees, all do. We do what we do because we care. I'm going to say, I don't know about those other guys, but I'm going to tell you this. If I didn't care, I wouldn't talk about you. I'll say that again for those in the back who didn't hear me the first time. If I didn't care, I wouldn't talk to you. I wouldn't be here. I do these things. I say these things. I move this way because I'm looking for everyone, everybody to up their game. I do this stuff because I believe that we all are better than we come across. We're all so much better. Like Rakim said, we were meant to be much more than that. And that goes to everybody, not just black people, everybody. We were meant to be so much more than what we are. people fuck shit up. At the root of every problem, every negative scenario, every suboptimal outcome, you can bet your last penny that people are the common denominator. Now, whether you're a creationist or an evolutionist, doesn't matter. Because again, the bottom line is that we are so much more than what we pretend to be. And there are some people out there who think, well, it's easier this way. And yes, it is. It's easier to fly underneath the radar. But that comes with its own problems. Everybody has problems. It's how we deal with those problems that make us what we are. It's how we tend to diagnose and fix the problems that make us either better or less than. And how this ties into the conversation is simple. If you parse Myron's words, peel back the layers, and study them for what they truly are, he acknowledges there's a problem. He says we need to fix it. Now, we may differ on how to fix it. And each way works for a segment of people. But that does not negate the fact that we both are trying to help people. I love Donovan Sharp. I've been listening to him for about the better part of 2.5 years now. And he has a show called the Hard R Podcast. And it's hilarious. But it also highlights the negative aspects of our experience. Chris Rock said it best. There are black people and there are niggers. And I hate niggers. That's what it all boils down to. When Myron talks about black women, he's not talking about them just to get a reaction out of his followers and fans. He's telling you what it is. They are rambunctious. They are disagreeable. They are masculine. They are argumentative. They are overweight. They're all of those things. But he's never said everyone's like that. They just extrapolate from him saying that and try to paint themselves and everyone else around them with that brush. And that's a you problem. That's a you problem. That's not a me problem. Does that apply to me?
Nope.
Then why even think about it? That's the difference between men and women in that regard. If you say something negative about guys in general, guys don't internalize it. Girls do. Not everybody thinks that way. No one ever said they did. Again, that sounds like a you problem. Just call me Bennett because I ain't in it. Let's go over to a Fresh and Fit clip with a panel of girls, Fresh and Fit, and a special guest, DJ Academics. And we'll listen to it, and then break it down a little bit later. But let's get over to it right now. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. There we go. Just move over this a little bit. And here we go.
Saying that both genders aren't special, the majority of humans, male and female, right? They kind of operate in the same boundaries. And he's saying that when any gender feel that they could get oh, hey, I'm this unique special type of thing, so I deserve this special type of treatment, he's saying no, most men act this way or would like to act this way, and most women act this way.
He said women are way more replaceable than men.
I don't think he's operating in the boundary.
Whoa. He's also talking about that the mere fact is that
He is arguing that men are like.
Hold on. By very definition, the guys that you want, you don't want the majority. Like,
but we're in Miami, and that's what I'm saying.
No. We're talking about where you're what you want. You don't want. Do you want a guy who makes $60 an hour, or that's a lot of money, by the way? You want a guy who makes $20 an hour that works construction, or do you want your guy who's a millionaire?
Well, I was saying that his argument was that women are way more replaceable than men, and he had us do a 10-finger test.
The majority
but how many
of
men
women,
in Miami are just like him?
Hold on, fuck Miami. This is universal.
Hold on.
No, this is universal. Like, this is a understood point among everybody who discuss dating. 80% of women want 20% of dudes. Y'all want the same guys. Y'all want the guys who are tall, rich, look like.
I find no flaw in his logic at all. The main difference between people like Myron and people like myself is that Myron will tell you exactly what it is. He pulls no punches and minces no words. People like DJ Academics, he tends to sugarcoat it a bit, makes it a bit more palatable. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. He's that spoonful of sugar. Myron is the medicine. He's not saying anything that's different from what Myron's saying. He's just saying it in a way that he hopes comes across as a bit more palatable for the girls on the panel. Now, they don't get that because they're up in their feelings. They're all in their feelings at this point. Let's continue.
Y'all all want that. There's a bunch of y'all want 20% of guys. So 80% of men to y'all don't exist. Y'all don't care about him.
Yep.
So what
Facts.
he's speaking to is not necessarily all men. He's speaking to your desires. Your exactly what you said on this podcast have told us what your desires are. Like we don't have to guess.
Okay, I have two things. One, how does that answer?
Again, I can find no flaw in his logic at all. Because what it boils down to, and I honestly can't say it any better than he says it, because there's no other way to say it. 80% of women are chasing 20% of men. And these days it's more like 90-10. %80 of women are chasing 20% of men. That right there makes two things very, very true. First thing, that makes men the prize. Supply and demand shows you that off the bat. When the supply goes down, demand goes up. Conversely, when supply goes up, demand comes down. Men are outnumbered by women on this planet. There are more women now than men. So that fact right there tells you men are the prize. Nothing else needs to be said. We are the prize. It also tells you that if we are the prize, and there's a whole bunch of women chasing us, it can only be up in the top 10% men's benefit for that factoid. Because of the other thing he said that's very true. And this is completely and totally on women. We can't help you with this one. This is all on you. 80% of men, and more like these days, more like 90, are invisible to you. Because 80% of the men are not 6 feet tall. 80% of men do not make 6 figures. 80% of men do not have a 6-pack or anything like that. Or a 6-inch tripod or anything. And because they're part of your disqualify the majority of people. Don't believe me? I want you, if you're a woman, I want you to go outside and take a look around your block and come back. And when you come back, I want you to tell me who you see. If you're like most people, you went outside and you may have seen your next door neighbor. You've seen that guy 3-4 houses down, cutting his lawn. And that's about it. Is that what you saw? Yes, but you left out so much. You saw the guy down the street cutting the lawn because he's a physical specimen. You spoke to your next door neighbor. You saw him because you speak to him daily. You don't see the mailman. You don't see the meter reader. You don't see the utility worker. All those people who have lives of their own, desires and dreams of their own that you don't see. Why? Because they don't fit your criteria. There's a saying, when a woman's in love, other men become invisible. That's the other part of it. Now that part, that's on you. You're in love, you don't see anybody. That's perfect. That is perfect. But you don't see those people, do you? Let's get back.
Answer what she asked. Secondly,
I'll answer her
wait.
question.
There we go.
Secondly,
Hey, y'all.
Secondly,
All right,
you
cool.
said you feel as though he's operating in the perspective of men and women have similar, in the boundary that men and women are similar. But he's made it very clear that women are nothing like men, down to the politics, down to the everything, really. So only reason I don't feel what you're saying is just based off that one part of your poetic.
Shut up. This woman has been annoying this entire pod. And this pod is 3 hours and 23 minutes long. If you ever want to get worked up, watch this pod. Because you'll get worked up. You will get worked up. This chick talking is masculine. She can say what she wants. She's masculine. She's a dude. She's disagreeable. She's argumentative. She's a profound candidate for the Sign Award. Shout out to the late, great Kevin Samuels for that one. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. She's all about being right. And to do it, she'll shame you, she'll insult you, and she'll guilt trip you. And I ask you, is that necessary?
Nope.
100% no. But you do it. Let's go back to it and see if anybody else has anything to say.
Moment.
All right, let me address this. Number one, when we say men and women are similar, what I'm referring to is most men have more things in similar to other men, similar with women. So what I'm saying is within our genders, we're similar. Okay? That's what I meant when I said that we're very similar. But women try to sit there and say, I'm different. But then when I ask, what do you provide to a relationship to a man? You guys all provide the same thing. So when it comes to human beings in general, all very similar, and then men and women have their certain things that make us very similar. We're more alike than we're apart. Now, what was your question?
I don't have any questions.
She's over it.
Yeah.
She said
she
you got
knows,
it, honestly.
like-
You can't get a W in this bitch, apparently.
No, you can't.
But I will say I do believe the pie is a healthy relationship, not a man or a woman.
What was
You
that?
guys are making valid points.
So the girl that you have, she's in the 1% of women you would, compared to like her 1% of guy.
No,
right?
no. I mean,
That's what I'm
the
just
thing with
asking.
her is that here's the beauty. She understands that she's not special. That's what keeps her. That's what
So your
keeps
girl's
her.
not special?
in her-
You don't think your girl's special? You just said right now she understands she's not special, so
She's
you're saying
special.
it again.
She's special to me, right? Because she obviously
You just
adds
said that
value.
she understands
Hold
she's
on,
not special.
hold on. Hold on. She's special to me because she adds value, but I had to teach her how to be that way.
So you had to groom
I
her.
was the one that made her special.
I agree with
I
you.
was
So
the
you
one
was
that made her
cool with her
special.
not being special when y'all
My
met?
leadership, because
But it
women
started
are.
with her not being
you really
special,
think,
right?
Hold on.
Give it to Fresh and Fit, Myron and Walter. I'll give it to you all day and twice on Sundays because you do what I won't do. It's not even that I can't do it. I won't do it. Because somebody be getting kicked out on a regular if this was my show. There are rules that are read out to the ladies before the show starts. And the minute it starts, they act like they're completely deaf, dumb. Let the man speak.
Hold on. See, this is how dumb y'all are. You really think a man like sees you at a club and says, "Damn, she's special. Let me walk up to her." No, he just sees that you're attractive.
Yeah.
He spits his game, goes on a date with you, hangs out with you, maybe fornicates, whatever it is, and then over a period of time he decides, okay, is this girl going to be in the sex only category or in the relationship category? Then he decides what he's going to do, right? But the thing is that you guys all think that you're special, but the reality is it's your looks that get you through 99% of the doors, and then the man decides if he wants to commit to you after the fact. But the things that
That is the God's honest truth. For anybody who says they don't believe in looks, you're lying through your fucking teeth. Stop the cap. You're lying. Because the first thing that happens when two people meet is they size each other up and they notice the appearance. Does he look good? Does she look good? They both say yes. They begin to talk. And then, and only then, can you then begin to gauge the personality. But you gotta have a starting point. And the starting point, like it or not, is looks. It's that simple. It's not even up for debate. And going back to the point of this conversation, you can see it in his eyes. You can hear it in his tone. He's spitting game because he actually cares. To his mind, women have been on top and have skewered the game unfairly to their advantage. And again, we can all, as men, take the blame for it because we allowed it to happen. It wouldn't take much for someone just to go, no, okay, you go this far, you go no further. But no, we let it continue. In the hope of it equalizing itself out. And what ultimately happens is that it then begins to go to the other side. And it's gotten to the point where now they don't need men, which is a bunch of shit. You do need us. Just like we need you. Can men survive without women? Yes. Can women survive without men? Yes. Will the species die out as a result of that interaction? Absolutely. The thing is that if there were no women on this earth and just men were here, society would last just a little bit longer. Because we tend to run things. Women, not so much. Don't believe me? How many times on this show have you seen women with degrees coming out in psychology? Well, not psychology, with business, um, things to do with STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and then go for cushy office jobs. You know how to do it. You were taught how to do it, but you won't do it because it's hard. It's hard.
What? What the fuck?
I don't want to do that because it's too hard for me. Ugh. People make me sick. There's a lot more that I could play in that video, but I'm not because I work myself up. I got to lay back. I've got to. Otherwise, I'll burn myself out before I get to where I want to get to. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But each person, although they may have their individualized reasons for entering the space, they do it because it's not fair. And they're trying to equalize it. And then there are people like myself who look at it like, well, why not? Why elevate one? Why not elevate everyone? Why not give everyone a fighting chance? That's why I say we've got our part to play in this too. Because we allowed it to happen. The first time a woman gets cross with you and you allow it to happen, everything else is your fault. It is what it is. But that's why they do it. And with that being said, we've come to the end of yet another one. And if you've made it this far, I humbly thank you. I thank you for allowing me to have this heart-to-heart with you. Just to let you know, I am thinking about you. It's not a one-way street with me. And as much as women are to blame for today's society, men have their share and culpability of it too. And the most uncomfortable truth of the whole situation, shout out to that podcast, but the most uncomfortable truth of this entire conversation is that it's going to take both parties to acknowledge the problem, find steps to resolve the problem, and then actually resolve it. That's where we fail. I hope and pray we find a way around it, but I fear. And with that, remember we operate in the power of 5. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, share. Each option there will help the algorithm potentially more people. And as I like to say, if I just get one person to better themselves and get a better outcome to the situation, my work is done. So please, at the very least, hit the like button. With the stuff we have planned going forward, you'll be glad you did. And with that, this is OBJ saying thanks for tuning in. Take care of one another. Do better. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.